Okay, so welcome back to the channel everybody. Got a wedge review for you today. We're out on the golf course and it's the Ping Glide 4.0 wedges. So I've got a 50, a 54, 58. We're going to test some various different distances into the green, some partial shots, as well as obviously in and around the green, the bunkers, and sort of lob shots. And really sort of tell you a lot about the technology, and there's a lot to sort of talk about in these wedges, as well as my personal feedback of the feel and the looks, and these are pretty impressive. And do stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to put them up directly against the market leader in the wedge department, the Titleist Vokey SM9. Really interesting results again, so do stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to kick things off with more of a fullish shot. So I've got in about 82 yards to be exact into this particular flag. So I'm going to go for my 54. It's a sort of nice, fullish, smooth 54 degree for me. Quite a strong wind off the left, so I'm just going to try and hit this up the left and let the wind bring it back. Quite a punchy one on that one, quite a nice tight lie here at Appleby. Yeah, that's not a bad shot at all. I think the real nice thing with these glide wedges, they look superb. I've never been the biggest fan of maybe Ping wedges, just they sometimes look a bit bulky. Now this is a cavity back wedge, which you don't sort of see many of nowadays, typically now a forged club. But when you put it in that playing position, it doesn't look bulky, it doesn't look chunky. I like that extra groove at the bottom. It looks like it sits really tight, yet I've got a good bit of bounce on here with 12 degrees on this S grind. I'll just clip that one on off the top of the turf a little bit more. Again, looks to be stopping pretty quick. That was a nice nippy strike there. Yeah, that looks to be pulling up really quite nice and quickly. So Ping have added some more SKUs to their range. Now we've got 17 choices of wedges. We've got 4 different grinds, and we've got obviously lots of bounce options as well as loft options. So you can really sort of dial in, get the right bounce grind as per your sort of club delivery. You know, if you're a little bit steeper, you maybe want something with a little bit more of a wider sole, a little bit more bounce to help you get that turf interaction exactly like you want it. Okay, so we've moved further into this green now. So literally 50 yards from this flag. So these are the shots I think really where you want to maximise as much spin as you possibly can. So I'm going to move into the 58 degree loft now, and obviously with the grooves are just changing as per the loft. So ultimately now this is going to really give me as much spin as I possibly can get from this sort of shot. Now we know we haven't got loads of speed from 50 yards. We know speed is a big ingredients of getting some spin on the golf ball. I've got a nice tight lie, I've got a premium golf ball here, so the wind's a little bit across, so it's not directly into, it's a little bit across, and the greens are quite firm, so I'm going to want some spin here. That's nipped really nicely there. Yeah, a couple of bounces, little pull, and just a tiny little trickle out. That's perfect for me for what I'd want from this sort of distance. Bear in mind, these greens are pretty firm today. The sound off the club face is really good. They feel superb. You know, obviously we've got that urethane insert in there, which is helping a lot with that sort of feel. Even though these aren't a forged material, they do feel very soft, not clicky. I like the fact these balls are coming out with quite a nice low flight and obviously creating some spin. Oh, that's superb. Really like the performance that they look to be spinning. You can really feel it off the club face, that ball really fizzing with that spin. So Ping are now using this 8620 carbon steel, so much softer material now, which is helping to get that real sort of feel. Now this is a forged head, but we've got like an elastomer sort of insert in the back of this cavity. Now this is an increased quantity of that material compared to the Glide 3.0. So the feel off these I think are superb. You couldn't tell if this was it's a non-forged basically. You know, it's a very sort of smooth sound, soft feeling off the club face, not clicky at all. Okay, so let's jump into the bunker now. We've got a typical sort of 20-yard greenside bunker shot to play. I'm going to go with my 54 degree S grind in the 12 degree bounce. Oh, and that went through the sand really well. I've played a great shot there for that opening one. Yeah, beautiful sort of blast there. I'd say 12 degrees of bounce. I'm just opening this up a tiny bit, so just maybe increasing a tiny bit of bounce on there and sort of get nice and aggressive through that shot. A little bit of one that came out a little bit lower and just releasing a little bit. Again, not a bad shot, be taking that on the golf course. Okay, so just going to open this up a little bit more now and try and play a real sort of higher floaty one. Obviously I've got a 58 there, but I'm going to keep it with this 54. I'm just going to really open this up, see if we can just play a slightly higher one. There we go. That's good, that's come out. There's 3 really quite nice sort of bunker shots I've played there. Just coming out a little bit different flights there, just as a change in that club face from sort of more square to slightly more open. So Ping have added an emery blast to the club face here, which basically creates more friction, and we know what friction means. That's more spin and control, especially those shots in and around the green. I think then when you combine that with the Hydro Pearl 2.0 finish on it, which we've seen tests in the past on that when it gets sort of wet, moving debris away, moving that water and dispersing it away from that contact. Again, it's all about getting friction. So these are fantastic wedges in the wet as well as the dry. Right, okay, I've given myself a horrible little shot here now. So I've got 2 mounds, Ping's tucked tight behind that second mound. So I need to get this up, down, proper flop shot here. So playing this with my 58 degree, obviously, and I've got the toe grind here, which is very much a back and heel and toe relief, and it's only got 6 degrees of bounce on. So maybe those tight lies where you're going to want to open that club face up. Now, not every golfer likes opening club faces up, so if you're not, then maybe this T grind might not be the best option for you, but definitely for somebody who's wanting to open it up and play those more high skilled shots in a way, aren't they? Okay, so that straight away I bailed out of that. I've just hit that way too hard. It's on the green. I've got a chance of a putt. Or maybe I should have given myself an easier shot here. Let's have another go. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's nearly holed it. That was perfect. That came out like really soft there. You could really hear the spin on that. That's exactly what I'd sort of be wanting from this type of shot. I shouldn't really be playing another one now after that, but we'll give this one a go. Oh, a little bit chunky again. I got a little bit aggressive on that, but it's pulled up quick. I've got a putt, haven't I? Okay, so moving in a little bit in closer now, and just some very simple little chip and runs in and around the green. Again, I'm going to go with my 54. Got a little down slope to this flag. Just going to cover it over this sort of rough area, get it landed on that green. Simple little shots. But again, this is where we want that, see a little bit of that feel. I think this softer feel of this this elastomer insert will sort of help on these sort of shots. You don't want these getting away from you too much. Yeah, that's just quite nice. Yeah, the feel, the feedback off the club face is really nice. Not too clicky. You can just sort of see that second, third bounce just gets that little bit of pull up there. Even though this is fairly quick shot down this slope. That's a better one. Best one of the lot. Can he get it? Bang on line, just a little bit short. Feel really good, those. Right, okay, so they're really impressive, those Glide 4.0 wedges. So let's jump into the studio now. We'll get some dry ball data and obviously that head-to-head battle up against the market leader, which is the Vokey SM9. Okay, so we're going to start off with some 50-yard shots with both wedges. We're going to start with the Ping Glide 4.0, 58 degree. I'm going to use a Vokey SM9 58 as well. So start with the 50-yard shots. Okay, so we're going to move that pin back now 80 yards and we're going to go back into the glide 10 shots and then 10 more shots with the Vokey again at 80 yards. Right, okay, let's look at some numbers. So I've hit 10 shots with each wedge at 50 yards and 10 shots each wedge at 80 yards. So look at the averages. So we'll start with the 50-yard area first. So the Ping, you can see, was average spin at just over 7,000 and the Vokey SM9 was just over 6,500. So a bit more spin there with that glide on that 50-yard shot. Again, I was hitting a 58 degree with both of those shots. Deviation from the highest to the lowest spin with the SM9, you can see 771 and 501. So a little bit tighter spin control maybe with the glide on that particular distance. Moving into the 80 yards, again 10 shots with each, and again we can see a little bit more spin with that glide. So averaging 7904 against 7436 with a Vokey. Deviation with the spin there, very similar with the Vokey, just edging it a tiny bit there with 820 from the highest to lowest. Obviously all these are a little bit strike dependent on the, you know, the slight little sort of connections I'm getting. Okay, so there we go. So the Pin Glide 4.0 wedge, just edging it in that particular test. Post your comments down below, which one would you go for? There'll be another video popping up here, you can go and check that out, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.